Meet Kenith. He runs a flower shop on a very busy street. Business is good, but he'd like to do better. Kenith is smart. He notices that the business is really good on certain days like Valentine's Day. In fact, the business soars on certain holidays that demand outpaces supply. To get ahead of the problem, Kenith decided to increase his inventory. He asked his supplier to increase his daily inventory by 20%, hoping customers would come, but they don't. Lying there unsold, Ken's flowers withered away. Kenith took a hit in the next week. Kenith wondered, how do I accurately predict my future sales? Seeking better control over his inventory and sales, Kenith hired the services of a professional firm. The financial modelers analyzed Kenith's historical data, his sales receipts and balance sheets from the last 2 years. They did what-if analysis to account for various scenarios and events. They then built a predictive model that would take the guesswork out and help make better decisions based on forecasts and assumptions. A financial model is a mathematical model designed to represent a simplified version of performance of a financial asset or portfolio of a business, project, or any other investment. Based on the models, Kenith was accurately able to predict the demand and stock his inventory accordingly. Sales were up by a whopping 20%. Numbers at the heart of business decisions, and financial models help owners like Ken make better decisions.
More than 75% of businesses rely on financial models to make business decisions. Financial models are used for many different reasons, the most common of which are business valuation, scenario preparation for strategic planning and decision making, cost of capital calculations for corporate finance projects, capital budgeting decisions, and the allocation of corporate resources. Financial models are also used in the creation of projections and trends for forecasts and many other uses related to industry comparisons, ratio analysis, and common size financial statements. The user base of financial models ranges from business owners and entrepreneurs to investment bankers to private equity professionals and many more. But what makes a good model? How are models different from spreadsheets? And how does one go about developing a financial model? We will start from the very basics and provide answers to these questions in this video. So let's begin. In this session, you will learn about what is financial modeling, the basics of spreadsheets, the differences between models and spreadsheets, the model development process, and why good models matter. Let's begin. Firstly, what is financial modeling? Financial modeling is the building of a quantitative representation, a model of financial information which is used to forecast a picture of a company's future financial performance. Put more simply, financial modeling is the process by which a firm constructs a financial representation of some or all aspects of the firm or a given security or a project. The model is usually characterized by performing calculations and making recommendations based on that information. The model may also summarize particular events for the end user, such as investment management returns, key outputs, and ratios. In the end, a financial model provides an analyst with a mathematical depiction of a particular business event. The primary software tool used to do this is the spreadsheet. There is a huge influx of financial models on a daily basis across different sectors and business segments. And 78% of businesses say that key financial decisions are supported by spreadsheets. But what is a spreadsheet? Let's try to clear out the confusion between a spreadsheet and a financial model. A spreadsheet can be used to tabulate and organize numbers. But it does not become a model until it contains data, equations, and specific relationships among the numbers that organize them into informational output. The model becomes a financial model when it incorporates the relationships of operating, investing, and or financing variables based on general accounting principles. Coming back to the technicalities, a spreadsheet is an interactive computer application for organization, analysis, and storage of data in tabular form. These are developed as computerized simulations of the paper worksheets. A spreadsheet helps you in capturing, displaying, and manipulating data arranged in rows and columns and inferring from it. The data entered in the form of text, numbers, and formulas, which are then calculated by the system and displayed on the basis of the values of participating cells. All of this is automated, which therefore provides a swift calculation process. Moreover, this is an interactive process, meaning different values can be processed into different results and therefore can be used as a means of checking the model. Spreadsheets are used to analyze different kinds of data and display them in rows and columns, and hence, rightly said by a business modeler's mother, it's the greedy program. Spreadsheets are majorly used for managing data, analyzing data, calculating various results, and then presenting these outputs. Let's analyze the usage in each of these four areas. Managing data refers to organizing, classifying, systematizing, and maintaining large volumes of data to make it more understandable. A spreadsheet with its tabular format enables one to manage data in a standard and clear format. Management of data and its organization is essential to putting it to effective use, because if data is poorly managed, it won't have that level of efficiency that a properly managed one would possess. Now, once the data has been sorted, organized, it needs to be analyzed. Spreadsheets facilitate more efficient analysis of data using various formulas, charts, formats, and functionalities to quickly identify trends, patterns, anomalies, and relationships. This provides efficient analysis and makes it easy to calculate the results. Calculations can be easily performed using spreadsheets as they provide various tools and functionalities to simplify complex calculations. Spreadsheets today are equipped with all formulas enabling you to calculate results using them. Using spreadsheets to calculate results is also more time efficient and less error prone. Once the results are calculated, it is time to present them. Spreadsheets are excellent tools for presenting outputs as they provide myriad options and tools to represent clunky data in a more meaningful and visually appealing manner. Clear summaries, information reports, tables, and charts render information more understandable and useful to the end user. Moving on, let's understand the notion of a financial model. Simply put, a financial model is a dynamic projection of operations or financial performance based on a set of assumptions about a business. It is a mathematical template designed to represent a simplified version of the performance of a financial asset or portfolio of a business, project, or any other investment. There lies the special point to be noted that not all spreadsheets are models and not all models are developed on spreadsheets. To understand, we need to answer this question. What would make a spreadsheet a model? It can be called a financial model when it uses assumptions about future performance to give a view of what a company's future financial condition might be like. By changing the input variables, such a model becomes useful for showing the impact of different assumptions or strategies for the future. In other words, how is a model different from a spreadsheet? The point to remember is that a spreadsheet is a catch-all term. A spreadsheet could really be anything: raw data output from the accounting system, a beautifully laid out management report, an item checklist, or a financial model used to evaluate a new investment. A financial model is more structured. It will contain a set of variable assumptions, inputs, outputs, calculations, scenarios, and often includes a set of standard financial forecasts in the form of profit and loss account, balance sheet, and cash flow statement, which are based on those assumptions. In a nutshell, an Excel spreadsheet is simply the medium that we can use to create a financial model. Let's end this topic with a final comparison of spreadsheets and models. Spreadsheets are usually used to report data, whereas models help you to use data for projections, forecasts, intra or extrapolation. Spreadsheets are a great way of organizing data, whereas models not only help you in organizing data, but also help in manipulating them to make the data of effective use and efficient use. A spreadsheet is usually static. Once a spreadsheet is complete, it often becomes a standalone report with no further changes to be made. A financial model, on the other hand, will always allow a user to change input variables to see the impact of these changes in assumptions and inputs on the output of the model. You usually use spreadsheets for only simple calculations, whereas models are used for more complex and dynamic calculations. A spreadsheet shows actual historical data, whereas a financial model may additionally contain hypothetical outcomes and future forecasts. In conclusion, it can be said that a financial model is a complex type of spreadsheet. The list of attributes can identify this spreadsheet as a financial model, but in some cases we really are talking about the same thing. After having discussed about some basic definitions and topics, let's understand the model life cycle in detail. We start by talking about the model development process. Proper planning is always required before just firing up the Excel sheet and start punching numbers. That would be the wrong way and in most of the cases lead to an erroneous result. As you start to build models, you should understand that you will be wearing 3 hats, as you will be the finance expert working with the elements of the financial statements and your knowledge of accounting to produce the correct representation of the results. You will also be the spreadsheet wizard, pushing Excel to squeeze the last ounce of performance out of your model. And lastly, you will be the virtual architect, manipulating the screen and structure of your model to produce a final product which is transparent, that is easy to follow, flexible, that is easy to change, and robust, that is hard to break down. Now let's look into the process of model development in a more detailed manner. Ideally, models are developed in 6 stages, where the process follows 2 general phases: planning and execution. The first phase requires you to plan out and bifurcate each part of the model, meaning answering the basic questions like what is the objective of the model, what purpose does the model fulfill, what are the basic requirements before the calculation part should start, etc. The execution phase involves the standard feedback mechanism process, meaning create the model, then test and obtain feedback from the results, and then implement it. Execution ensures the correct development of the objectives outlined in the planning phase. During the planning phase, the 3 steps used are scoping, specifying, and designing. Scoping refers to assessing or investigating something. In other words, looking at it carefully and inferring the relevant observations. Once you've had an understanding of the model, you need to specify the model's purpose. Specifying involves listing out the model requirements and laying them out in the form of graphic maps or flowcharts. It should be done in such a way that all the requirements needed for the model are clearly identified and mentioned. Now, once you have the requirements you need to design the model, designing is a very sensitive task because the whole execution phase of your model is based on the model's design. A model should be defined in a way keeping in mind that it fulfills all the objectives defined in the earlier parts of this process, such as the scoping and specifying phases. Once your model's design is complete, you need to execute the model, hence the execution phase. During the execution phase, the 3 stages involved are building, testing, and implementing the financial model. So the first part of the execution phase is building the model. Building a model is again a very sensitive process because, as seen before, a small error leads to big blunders and the whole model is interrelated, so maintaining accuracy here is a must. Once the model is built, we need to test it. The testing process involves running the model but not implementing it fully. This is done via doing scenario analysis. During the testing process, the model should be closely observed and the results should be analyzed, and then the necessary changes, if required, should be done in the model. And finally, once this is done, the model is implemented and brought into action for the final users. Why not build the model and let the model evolve rather than planning the whole process? This is because insufficient planning results in a longer process and most often an inferior product. If the model is not properly planned, there will be many problems in building it, as the proper understanding behind the model won't be there. So if there's a problem, it will take a lot of time to resolve the problem. Additionally, better planning makes the final model simpler and easier to use. In general practice, it is said to spend equal time in the planning process as spent in the building process to ensure a model with good fit and ease of implementation. Finally, in the real world, the model development process is more dynamic in nature and multiple steps are involved at a single time. The stages in the planning phase occur simultaneously because while designing, you may find out that there is another requirement which was not mentioned in the specifying phase and that needs to be added. Similarly, these processes are interrelated and therefore are carried out together. Then we move to the execution of the model. While execution, you take feedback about the design and what difficulties arise while executing the design. The result is then analyzed to identify the needs or if there is scope for improvement. Once this is done, the model is tested and implemented. Let's look at a few examples to see why good modeling practices are essential. As you will see, even small errors can have huge business impact. Research has shown that about 50% of spreadsheet models used operationally in large businesses have material defects. In an audit of 54 spreadsheets, 49 were found with errors. That comes to 91% of the total spreadsheets audited, and it is a very alarming number. In another study, 30 to 90% of all spreadsheets suffer from at least one major modeling error. A study was conducted on Enron Corporation and it was found that 24% of Enron spreadsheets with formulas contained errors, while out of 68,979 Enron emails which discussed spreadsheets, 6% contained words related to errors. If we continue to see some more numbers with respective impacts, around 17% of large businesses have suffered financial loss due to poor spreadsheets, and 57% of them say that bad spreadsheets have caused wasted time for them. These numbers give us the idea that how easy and common it is for an error to occur in our models. And what is more worrying is the fact that majority of time, the error stays there in the model undetected. And hence, any decision based on such a model will obviously lead to erroneous results. Remember, garbage in, garbage out. Garbage data and the perfect model is still garbage results. Conversely, the perfect data with a garbage model with errors is still garbage results. Even small mistakes count. There have been many such examples where a small mistake has led to humongous losses for the company. For instance, a simple spreadsheet error cost a firm a whopping $24 million. The mistake led to a major power generating company buying more power transmission hedging contracts at higher prices than it should have. The company's computer spreadsheet contained mismatched bids for the contracts, and it was basically a cut and paste error in an Excel spreadsheet, and the company did not detect it when they did their final sorting and ranking of bids prior to submission. Since the bids could not be reversed, the contracts had to be delivered at a great cost for the company. Such mistakes are caused by a lack of peer review and double checking of outputs. Such a mistake is not very uncommon, but to identify it on time and rectify it before some crucial decision is made on the basis of it is of utmost importance. We at EY always make sure that our models go through another set of fresh eyes to check for such mistakes before we communicate the same to the client. Such a practice is very essential because many a times while building a model, we are either under time crunch or drowned under too much of information. That's where a standard and planned approach helps in eliminating the most common mistakes and utilizing our time in a more efficient manner. Let's have a look at some more examples leading to unfavorable results for the organization. Shares of an online gift retailer lost more than a quarter of their value after the company warned of a fourth quarter loss due to weak Valentine's Day sales, and a budgeting error that resulted in an overestimation of gross margins. The company stated that their CFO had resigned, but it was very likely that the CFO was pushed out because of this error, which demonstrated a material weakness in controls over financial reporting, an issue that usually leads to a lengthy review of accounting practices. It was later reported that the budgeting error was simply due to a number misreported in one cell of a spreadsheet that then threw off the cost forecast and was unrelated to the CFO change, but the damage was already done for both the CFO as a professional and the company as a whole. To share yet another example, a leading global investment bank highly underestimated the downside of its synthetic credit portfolio due to an error in an Excel spreadsheet used to model risk, which ultimately led to the bank to declare $6 billion in losses and might have also led to another $600 million in fines. It was later explained that the error stemmed from a combination of copy-paste mistakes and a faulty equation created to crunch the numbers. I guess by far we would have got a fair understanding of the impact of small errors done in financial models and spreadsheets, which in turn can cause huge losses to the parties involved. So, such small errors not only affect the business decisions, but they determine your career path as well. At many occasions, various professionals have been shown the door for just committing a minuscule mistake or overlooking a small discrepancy. Hence, it is very important to be aware of the best practices involved in financial models to have your career path moving in the right direction.